Kidnapped, walking the scene with you in old flicks from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. Their insight so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands tall. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with her charm, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
Welcome back to the VHS Club. I'm over here behind the scenes being like, what are the lyrics to our theme song? I would like to know. I'll have to look it up at some point.
I honestly think I hear something about the Moffats in it, but that's probably just our childhood trauma.
No, yeah. I know that it is like in the style of Canadian boy band, so it is in the style of the Moffats, but I don't think that they say
I know that's what's triggering it.
That must be what's triggering it. I hear our names. I think I know most of it, but yeah, that'll be my that'll be my challenge for the week is trying to look up what the lyrics are. For those of you who don't know, the one and only Doc Rock, it helped us create our song using a bunch of AI tools. So there is a passion behind our theme song, but we did not do it ourselves. So you know, it's uniquely ours.
No, but it's amazing.
It is as weird as possible. Well, tonight we are on the quest for episode 100, which is not tonight, but in a couple of weeks, where this is episode 98, which is wild. And we figured, we haven't done most of everyone's favorite movies yet. So here we are trying to get through most of your favorite movies. And so it felt appropriate to do Stand By Me, partially because I thought that this was its anniversary year, but as it turns out, we're ahead of the game, and next year is its anniversary year. So 1986, Stand By Me. Now, when was the last time you saw this? Was this like a long time rewatch, or was it you've seen it pretty recently?
The 90s?
Okay.
I comfortably would say the 90s for sure. Like when we were in high school. I don't. But since then, no, probably not. It's fantastic. I love this movie.
This is Now and Then. So if you joined us for our Now and Then episode, which is unfair to say because Now and Then is technically Girl Stand By Me because it comes out after this one. But but we're watching this. I was like, oh, this is.
But I don't like comparing them because they made the girl one a little fluffier.
They did make the girl,
which I'm like, why? Because it's just girls? Because it's girls?
Girls don't. I don't think girls go on the hunt for a dead body. Nor
we totally would have gone on the hunt for a dead body, Katie.
Adult white women would be on the hunt for a dead body, but I don't know
when
about
we were kids. Oh my God. We were like 11 going to the public library to take out books on serial killers.
True story.
We were like, we want to learn more about this.
True story. I guess I would have totally
looked for the body.
I'm going to cross off my question that's like, is this accurate searching for a body? I'm like, Nat says it's accurate. So
I think so.
Cross it off. Well, Paul is saying that he has seen this so many times. He can't even think through how many times. Josh says that he saw part of Stand By Me in the late 2000s, but hasn't watched it all the way through. We assume Val hasn't seen it yet.
No, Val has seen it.
Oh, Val has seen
I
it.
would
Okay,
say Val
okay.
has seen it.
All
I
right.
think she said last week she did.
Okay, so we're standing up for Val, and
Yeah.
and Dane is claiming he has seen it, but I'm skeptical because he told me like a few months back that he hadn't seen The Goonies, which made me just want to cry. So
Yes, he has.
no, he claims he has not,
What?
and then he wouldn't
I'm
rewatch
sure.
it with me.
Okay,
so
he's been in the house when it's been on with us.
that is fair. That is probably accurate. So maybe
Sitting
that's
down to watch it, probably not. Seeing bits and pieces of it, for sure. He
True.
hadn't.
true.
Like he would remember anyways.
That's true. I mean, hey, I will say his memory is much better than mine. I'm like, I don't know,
Oh,
have I seen
it's-
this? And he's like, yes, this date you watched it, and then like his memory is very sharp.
It has nothing to do with his memory. It's his memory for useless information.
True.
It's,
One
it's
does not want to retain
a
useless
choice to
information.
delete certain information.
Wouldn't
Is
that be
where
nice?
he's coming from.
I seem to only be deleting valuable information out of my brain. I am definitely not deleting, anything
There's
that is
too much in my brain for
Yeah.
me to even attempt to reboot it. I don't know.
Yeah. Which is why, as Dane said, that I am the person that is cramming for the exam on Thursdays. I 100% watch the movie either Wednesday night or half Wednesday and then finish Thursday or all day Thursday. just so that I'm able to like fully have it in my mind so I don't have to reference all my notes. It's like the best move ever. All right. Well, and Josh is saying Nancy Drew would say otherwise. It's true. Nancy would be on her way to find a body. So it is
true.
That is accurate.
See, it's not a gender thing. It's
not a
a
gender
time period thing.
It is a time
So
period.
this took
thing.
place in 1959.
Yep.
So it definitely was like a boys' sort of activity, and like
It's a
there's
boy
certain
gang.
scenes
Not
that
gang,
remind
that's maybe not the right word. A boy group, a boyfriend group.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie is about a group of 12-year-old boys in 1959 that have sort of their last adventure on Labor Day weekend.
Mhm.
So at the end of summer before going back to school, because the new school year at the end of the weekend is going to be junior high,
Mhm.
and they're going to be separated in different groups.
Yeah.
So it's kind of their last sort of adventure as a group of friends, and they're all aware of it in different ways.
Yep.
And that's kind of why they decide to go on the adventure. Also, Will Wheaton's character is obsessed with like the detective stories, and he's a writer, and he's essentially young Stephen King. So this was based on a novella written by Stephen King
Yep.
about his own life, loosely.
I did not know that fact. It's in the same
Yeah.
collection of short stories as Shawshank Redemption, which is
Yeah.
equally incredible.
And you did know that fact because you read it in his book, Stephen King on Writing, which
did.
you passed to me.
I told you that my brain deletes information that I would find worthwhile, but apparently has deleted that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually also one of the few movies that Stephen King was so wowed by that he was just beside himself, and I believe still is his favorite out of all of his work that has been turned into movies, of which I don't even want to know how much of his work has been turned into movies. Almost all
So
of it, I would
much.
imagine, basically all of it. He's that prolific. So, but this
Yeah, I
is
was
interesting.
like, even there's TV shows. I'm just thinking, I just read The Colorado Kid, which is one of his novellas, which is based on one of my favorite Canadian shows, Haven. Like, it's.
There you
Anyways,
go.
yeah. Oh, yeah, no, Stephen King is everywhere.
Yeah, he and it's interesting because I feel like Stephen King, if you don't know much about him other than the name and kind of the the fame that goes behind Stephen King, he is predominantly a horror writer, and obviously the
Yeah.
vast majority of his work are the scary books, but these in particular, this one, which the story is called The Body and the movie is called Stand By Me, and then Shawshank Redemption, are two incredibly poignant dramas that are, I mean, not that they don't have elements of, I don't know. I don't want to use the word scary.
There's no supernatural in it.
There's not.
There's
they're
no
not,
hint of supernatural.
yeah,
even.
they're not traditional horror, and they're not Stephen King has a tendency for it to be very almost grotesque, definitely a lot of supernatural. So it is very, very different for him. And it's really nice that he was so enamored by this film. This is also Rob Reiner, and like if you take a moment and look up Rob
As the
Reiner,
director.
like just everything he does is gold. I'm just gonna say.
I was thinking, so
All of our favorite stuff.
in this movie, one of the things that they do touch upon a lot is the sense of loss. So loss of their youth. There's Will Wheaton's character just lost his brother a few months previous.
Yeah.
This body that they're going to go find is a boy their age that disappeared. So it's kind of horrific, and like Corey Feldman's
loss of childhood as well, like, and
loss of innocence, lots of childhood, loss of family members, and in different ways. Like Will Wheaton's brother died in a horrible car accident. Corey Feldman's father has severe PTSD because he fought on the beaches of Normandy during the war, so he doesn't have that father figure around. And it's like they all have this sort of different things that they're dealing with on the same topic, and it's actually kind of horrific.
Yeah, exactly. Really deep.
It is horror, but just real life horror, no supernatural to it.
Yeah. I think it does a really fantastic job of, I mean, similar to Now and Then, and similar to like any of these kind of coming of age movies, like this one in particular just really shines in, I feel like, making friendship like really authentic. Like there's no moment in this that doesn't feel like the four of them are friends. Like in my mind, I'm like, these four actors were and are
friends in real life.
Like, like other than River Phoenix, but like who is no longer with us. But other than that, like they are in my mind still close. Because of A, how well this movie was written, and B, like how well this movie was acted. There's a realism to the friendships because it's not perfect. It's heavily flawed, and there's like a few of them that are closer than the others. There's there are moments where they are arguing, or they don't always agree on absolutely everything, and they're all having their own kind of individual experiences alongside their shared experience. But there's this like moment that, or not moment, but an understanding that they will always be friends, even though they are not always going to be friends, if that makes sense. Like, they're going their different ways, but there's a level of respect for each other. It just feels super believable.
This experience bonds them. And it's kind of like those friendships that you have where it's like when you see the person, you haven't seen them in years, but nothing changes once you get talking. It's sort of that moment. I love like how they develop each of the characters. So Will Wheaton's character, which his name is escaping me right now. Gordie, that's it. He's still processing this loss of his brother, which was John Cusack. I totally forgot that.
I know, me too. It came the second I started it.
John Cusack's older
than
than all of these. And I'm like, oh yeah, he is.
They were also very young. Like they were, other than River Phoenix, who I think was 14 when he filmed this. The others were 11 and 12. Like they were young. 14 is also really young, but
so. God, they were really young in this, but so good. So Gord is trying to figure out his feelings and his relationship also with his family and with his parents. And there's this one scene where Chris, River Phoenix's character, Chris, tells him like, no, you're not going to screw up school by being in like the dummy program with us. You're going to go to the enriched program. And he's like, if I was your dad. And it's this whole scene where and you see it happen throughout the movie. Chris takes care of everybody. He's sort of their parent. And then we see that he's doing that, because he's just a good person in a shitty, like, living situation. Like, his family has a bad reputation, so nobody in town will give him half a chance, Yeah. And, like, also you see it's kind of his way to sort of feel like he's useful, to feel like he's helpful, to feel in control. So he helps all these other kids who are the same age as him. And it was very special and very well performed.
Yeah, that scene, and then the other one that always like full out makes me bawl my eyes out is the last scene between the two of them, like basically over the body, where there is this whole breakdown and Gordie is like beside himself and admits that like he doesn't, his family doesn't love him, and his dad doesn't love him, and he's like, he doesn't even know you, like he can't love you, he doesn't even know you, like, and it was this, like, it's such a
It's so true.
It's
like
so,
a kid
yeah,
should
it's
not know that.
so like tragic and true, and like this is not the right word, but like it's so like helpful as a friend. Like at no point does he say like that his feelings aren't legitimate, or like, no, he doesn't feel that way. Of course he loves you. It's like it's something that will make him feel better, but isn't a lie. Like, which is just a really nice, like, from friend to friend. It's just a really beautiful,
He's
beautiful
not placating
moment.
his feelings.
And it's also like, I have to say, for those, like, I feel like when I watched this when I was younger, like I was just, like beside myself that like parents would ever treat their kid that way. But then watching it now as an adult, I'm like, oh man, like they only say as when this movie takes place in 1959, his brother had only passed away like I think they said 4 months previous. So like they're like really deep in the throes of it. So like it's painful on so many levels. Like part of me gives those parents a little bit of grace. Like I can't even imagine what that would be like. And I feel like that's a pretty realistic response to just like ignore or your grief comes out like in ways, towards the other family or towards your surviving kids as well. So I just think it's like absolutely.
I mean, how are
it's
you
horrible on
supposed
so
to?
many levels. Like it's just terrible.
It's like you're handling. You can't. It's hard to handle your depression and everybody else's depression, especially in the 50s when there was no such thing as therapy per se.
Yeah.
Like it's very tricky.
Yeah,
Which made it
definitely no therapy.
one of the worst scenes for me because of that. Like you see this loss. They set it up. The mom's hanging laundry.
Yep.
And Gordie's asking her, like, where's my canteen? And she doesn't even hear him.
No.
The dad's like raking in the garden, but he's like
mindlessly,
like he's
it.
using a hoe, like a bat, like, and he like doing nothing, like literally just pushing dirt back and forth. And he goes to find the canteen in his brother's room, and he finds the cap, like a Yankees cap that his brother had given him. So when they're going out on this adventure, he puts on his Yankee cap, like, take his brother with him. And Kiefer Sutherland's character, who's pure evil.
I love him, and he was so
oh
hard
my
to
God,
watch.
pure evil.
Yeah.
And he steals the kid's hat, and he threatens to like beat the kid up, gut him with a knife, burn them with a cigarette, and like just for a stupid hat, and it's his brother's hat. I'm like, I was so angry. I'm like, that is so upsetting. And I know it's just a hat, but like
it's not though, because you just previously watched that moment where it's like Gordie is in this world where it's not even just his brother. It's like so much worse than that, because as you make your way through the movie, it becomes more and more clear that like he was like not only the favorite brother, like, and so Gordie already feels like, even when he was alive, already feels like ignored and second then whatever, but he was like his defender, his like best friend, his everything. And so like it's that
the one in the family that knew him.
Yeah. It was the level of like adoration that like he, that his brother, the person he looks up to more than anything, gave him this token, and now he's gone. Like, and so it was like it's so again horrific on so many levels. It's such brilliant writing, but it's so hard to watch. That like
Kiefer Sutherland is in like a gang called the Cobras, and I'm like, you're in a small town in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and you have a gang, like, for the love of God. Anyway, and they just go around terrorizing everybody.
Yeah.
And so two of the gang members, so it's Vernon, so Jerry O'Connell's
older brother,
and one of his friends, they steal a car. And then as they're running away, like with the car, like they're driving away with the car, they stumble across this body near the train tracks. And Vern hears him talking about it, so then he tells his friends, and that's why they decide to go on this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, parallel to this, finally Vern's older brother tells the gang, the Cobras, about this, and they're like, hey, and they have the same idea as the younger kids. We're going to find this body, we'll be the town heroes, and we'll be on the news, and they'll put us on TV and on the radio and interview us. So they're both going out, except the older, like the adults, literal adults, like are driving there with their stolen car, and these kids are walking like something like 30 miles.
30 miles on the train tracks, which causes me like the same level of anxiety that I like. I don't know if this was accurate in the United States, because obviously I did not grow up there, but at least in Canada, there were like a lot of like we had like school assemblies and like videos that played all the time, like during like after school specials that were like, you know, these like horrific scenes
do
of
not
like
play on the train
do not play on the train tracks, of like drunk drivers whose like car got stuck on the train tracks, and like, you know, one survivor who was like paralyzed for life. I have the same level of stress about train tracks as I do about the like log trucks from Final Destination. Like,
oh my God,
it's that level of stress. So like even just rewatching this, I was like, you need to get off the tracks. Like,
and it's true. Like, I think it's so stressful, but at the same time, my dad grew up when this movie took place. He grew up in the 50s. He was like their age. And he would tell me stories about him and his friends when the trains would come by. They'd run, hop onto the trains, climb up on top, and hop cars. Train car hopping. Like, they did this in real life, and it's like they talk about it in the movie, and they feel the tracks to feel if the train is coming. And my dad would tell me these stories in real life before I saw this movie. And I was like, and the fact like this, so the kid that died, the body, is this kid who got hit by a train. Which, so now all of those people, Katie, those are the ones that grew up to be our teachers and administrators who made those PSA videos, like, by the way.
Guys, do not mess around. Do not mess around. Which, I mean, fair. It scared the absolute crap out of me. I will never, ever like drink and drive. I will stay away from train tracks. I am terrified of log trucks. I have learned all of the life lessons about,
my dad was the kind of parent that was like, I did all of the stupid shit when I was a kid. So I will tell you in vivid detail about all of it. So you can make an educated choice, AKA don't do it. And if you do, call me. Like, it was very like,
I do love though the
I would have never.
I will say this movie. So I like, obviously you and I did not grow up in the 1950s, and like, and even in the 80s and 90s, it was a totally different world. I mean, and certainly different today. But there is this like nostalgia for like a quote unquote simpler time. Like, there's something about the fact that these kids literally could super easily just be like, hey, we're all at each other's houses, and like the parents would never dream of like dropping them off or picking them up. Like, these kids are just gonna like do their thing and be back back when they're back and whatever. And the fact that they're able to pull all that off is absolutely
they didn't have
incredible.
Trackers on their kids, you know?
No. So like, what in it? I don't know. I'm sort of nostalgic for like the ability to push limits and make mistakes and have that level kind of independence. I actually think is like hugely important, particularly for 12 and 13-year-olds who are like at that kind of cusp, and there's that level of responsibility that is about to smack them in the face. And so it is an interesting.
So it is a different time.
It was a different time.
Now the trouble you can get into nowadays is different because the internet's involved. So it's like you can't necessarily just be like, kids, we're gonna do like a no phones weekend or summer.
I want you to follow the train
know?
Tracks and find bodies. Have adventures.
Like we said in the Now and Then episode, like we used to ride our bikes halfway around the island of Montreal, which is insane if you think about it. It's not that it's big, it's that it's busy. You know, like it's a city. And there are train tracks, and there's the river, and there's crossing, like, some parts are just a little bit of biking on the highway. We should have never done any of that, but we did.
We absolutely did. I'm loving this line from Paul. Paul says, well, while practicing his lines, Jerry O'Connell was impressed that as an 11-year-old, he was being allowed to swear. Yeah,
Oh yeah, there was so much swearing this. You could
Yeah.
almost tell the kids were just excited to be able to say
well,
swear words.
the time of their lives, like from what I could tell from some of the research I did, like they did a lot of things that like they never would have been able to do had they not, like, again, kind of had the level of freedom and being away from their families to film this movie. So like, and they were young at a time where there were less,
Yeah.
you know, way less rules around, you know, child actors than there are now. I want to talk a little bit about this. I was going to ignore this, but Chance brings up a good point. So Chance is pointing out that Jerry was huge in this movie. Not that there's anything wrong with that, as he says. And it is funny because I remember like seeing Jerry do interviews later about, you know, like how he lost all the weight, how his feelings were about being like the quote unquote fat kid in this movie. And then rewatching it today, that's how I like looked at it. And Dane argued with me. He was like, well, Clint, like technically according to like BMI, he would be considered overweight. And I was like, that's not.
But that could also just kind of be baby fat, though they do imply his diet is predominantly candy and cola.
Yeah.
Like he says it several times.
He's not chunk. Like he's not like any of the like the other like token quote unquote fat kids in some of these other movies. But
honestly,
like,
we had fatter kids in the 90s movies that were like the butt of the joke, which I hate, never understood.
Yeah. I kind of like that in this one he's like, it is definitely, it's less of a cliche, and I wonder if it's because it's more of a drama. It's rated R. It's more of like it's not certainly not.
They also didn't
movie.
really talk about it. They did have a story about a fat kid, but it had nothing to do with him.
That kid was pretty obese in the story.
You could also tell he was stuffed with
pillows and whatever else. But
like cotton,
cotton
batting, you know.
Yeah, it's It was interesting because I definitely, Chance, I agree with you. Like I remember all of the like
he was
backlash, but I
considered
remember all the
fat
conversation
then.
about like, oh, he's lost so much weight. Look at him now as an adult. He's so thin. Like, and it was like he really didn't seem all that overweight to me in rewatching. Like he looked pudgy, but like my son,
he was 12.
Yeah, my son is 13 right now, and he's got a couple of friends who like literally in the span of a couple of weeks went from like being that same level of pudgy to like shot up and are now like super thin, like, and way taller.
Like,
so like
thin.
it's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it was an interesting
It's
talking
the
point,
age, but it is something that adults focus on.
Oh, it's a ton. Or worry about, and I mean, it's fair. That is definitely fair. Kathy's saying
it's something that our culture has always taught us to focus on as well, you know? So it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kathy,
golden age of free range.
Kathy loves this movie and says it's the golden age of free range child rearing. Yeah, it is actually nice. There, other than Gordie's parents and then the man who owns the junkyard, there are very few, and then a couple of like background actors here and there. There are very few adults that are in this movie. Like this is predominantly this like group of friends, and then the Cobras on the other side, the bad guy gang.
Yeah.
And that's
who are technically out of high school, so implied adults.
Yeah.
It's it's implied that Chris's parents, like he has a large family that's completely out of control and they're kind of the bad seed of the town.
Yeah.
So he has no parental control. His dad's been drinking again recently, he mentioned. So he's getting really nasty or really mean, he says.
And Teddy's dad is really damaged, and
PTSD from we now know. Yeah. We now know what post-traumatic stress syndrome is, but like that's still
we don't actually hear very much about Vern's parents throughout all of it. I suppose that maybe he just has like
I think they kind of
he's like
I think they kind of imply that he's just a bit slower than the other kids. They use the word that we don't use anymore a lot in the movie because it was
they use a few words
part of the time.
Yeah,
they use quite There's language in it which is accurate to the time period, and even a lot of their little sort of high five that they did, like give me some skin and they slide their hands, and like that was very much from the time period that the movie took place in.
Yeah.
So they were really good at that. Sometimes it's hard to rewatch stuff nowadays where you're just like, oh yeah, everything was terrible.
It It's very like intentionally like it is a time capsule movie. So like it is both a coming of age story, but it also like is very intentionally set in the late 50s, early 60s. Like it is.
Yeah.
And it in the same way as Now and Then, which I'm sure took a lot of kind of the, you know, the concept of this and ran with it in their own way. It also opens with an adult version. So Gordie is an adult who was always, as we said, a writer, is reflecting back and writing his novel and his story about this time of his life and this group of friends. And so you do have the kind of like the time capsule look back, the nostalgia, the like the retelling of it, and it goes back and forth, and it does end in this really kind of like, I think anyway, beautiful ending where like he finishes the story. I think it has the best line in the movie, not said, at the very end of the movie. And then you see him and his son and his son's friend playing. And it's like, it does kind of have that full circle, really pretty ending that I think is great. And I want to say this line out loud because this, I didn't realize how much this quote, like, I don't know, would impact me and still impacts me, but he says, he doesn't even say it. He types this because he's writing a book, but he on his very old computer.
In MS-DOS.
I was like, whoa, take me back.
It. I'm like, God, I miss those keyboards.
Exactly. He types, I never had any friends later on, like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone? And it was like,
we do.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, people don't have this. That's so weird.
But
like,
I will say,
sucks.
we had a group of like 3 or 4 of us that we hung out often, and we don't really talk to the other
We're kind
members
of
that group. So
Gordie and we're the Gordie and the Chris.
Yeah, we're the Gordie and the Chris. Where the other 2 kind of have disappeared and have their own lives, and and we've moved on from it. But it is that like moment of you don't, and I feel like we said this I said this in Now and Then when we were reviewing Now and Then, but it's like you don't realize that it's your last summer, and then it is your last summer, and that like it's like a like a gut wrench kind of feeling. And this movie does it really beautifully in the look back, where he's saying at the end and writing like what happened to each of them and his friendship or not friendship, and they like it's not even anything big necessarily. Like they all just like life took them in different directions, and like to no one's
which is normal,
which is so normal, and it's so I don't know, it hits you. It absolutely hits you.
I did feel quite like that line did hit me too, because I was like, oh, people don't have this.
No, yeah.
That really, like, how much does that suck? Like that. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, I will say, like, even though we do
like, you develop friends when you're older, but
no, I wasn't even gonna say that. I was gonna say like it is it's a different kind of friendship though. Like our friendship when we were that age, it like is time capsuled, even though we're still really close friends now. Like there is like a magic in that time where there's like a freedom in the idea of summer. There like, I don't know. I
mean, we could just run across the street to go and see each other. Now it's like we have this whole crazy border situation.
Yeah. Like jobs and lives and all different kinds of stuff that get in the way of all of it. So
exactly.
I don't know. It was interesting, but I thought it was just a really like powerful line, and I love that it's not even said. Like I love that he like sees what his kids are doing and he types it, which I think is again on that clicky. Maybe most of it is the clicky keyboard, but I really did love that line.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I've been trying to think what else we need to talk about. The leech scene. The
iconic leech scene, which I don't know what kind of leeches you have out in Oregon, guys, but like they were
like 5 times the size of leeches that I've seen.
The leeches I have in the lake here at my cottage are like long and skinny, or now recently we've been getting all these little like micro leeches. Like where they're so tiny, you're just like, oh, why does my foot sting a little? What is that? Why are there like 60 little black dots on me? Oh, it's just a whole bunch of baby leeches. But they're so big, and the kids just ripping them off. I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. Oh my God. Which of course they're in the woods, so what else are you gonna do? But
the level of just terror over that. That scene was fantastic.
And the fainting when Gordie faints, the poor kid.
The silence where he like
all
realizes,
the blood on his hand.
Yeah, that was like again kind of
guy.
like I just like, yeah, perfectly acted and perfectly written.
Yeah.
Like, it's so believable. That scene's fantastic. Okay,
So believable.
this is not even like a important scene at all in the movie, but I did thoroughly enjoy the fact that when they get to the junkyard at the beginning, they're like stopping there. They plan to stop there for the night, and it has all of the like everyone's favorite lines on the sick balls line where the dog is going to go after and that is incredible. I'm not selling that short, but I do love that they flip coins to try to see who's going to go to the store to use the money that they've all compiled to buy stuff.
What was it, like $1?
It's like $1, like 27 or something like that. And I mean, I know it's the 50s of it all, so that wasn't even all that shocking to me. But did you notice like what he buys? Like they're like hiking and like camping and sleeping outside, and he buys 4 bottles of Coke, which fair, I get that. And then he buys like from the butcher, like hand cut hamburger patties, and then like buns. And I was just like, this is incredible.
Which the butcher, by the way, was
like,
actually a gas station.
Yeah.
It was like a gas stop / convenience / corner store.
Yeah. Which again, I would believe in
butcher.
small town America in the 50s. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
But I was like, wow, like $1 whatever gets you that much is incredible. And then the flip side, I was just like, this is what you choose. Like if I was with my friends and had that little amount of money, like I don't know,
couple cans of
sandwiches, a couple cans of meats.
Well, mind you, he
chips.
got meat. It's not like they had processed sandwich meat back then.
I guess that's
so
true.
He would have had to buy the protein regardless, right?
I guess, but I just love that it's like this like butcher pack. Like that would have been like $85 today. $112.
Oh yeah.
But he like,
and I mean, like the butcher was chopping something, right? So it wasn't hamburger meat. Like it was just meat.
I thought it was hamburger. Yeah, but maybe I was wrong. I think it was hamburger, but I could be totally wrong. I was
no,
like,
it was still
iconic.
Astounding. Astounding. The cost of like.
Yeah.
God.
I was more surprised by what he got than I was
nowadays.
by the cost, but everything was amazing. Kathy is jumping in and saying they were movie leeches. They were overpaid leeches. Which I think is, apropos.
They were overpaid.
They were overpaid.
Yeah, they were. Those were big leeches, man. Oh, I have yet, knock on wood, but I have yet to be leeched in my lifetime.
Oh, really?
At the lake.
I've been leeched
I
a
am
number of times.
The only person that has not got a bloodsucker on them.
I don't remember if I've ever been leeched at your lake, but I definitely have pulled many a leech off me.
Considering I'm in it like almost every weekend starting like end of May.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, knock on actual wood here, you will never have that experience.
No, I
very
hope not.
Unpleasant. They're like, I still prefer swimming in lakes and ponds to swimming in the ocean. I'm okay with leeches over some of the other craziness. Paul is saying he remembers when a big payday candy bar was only 10 cents, of which Vern still would have been 3 cents short. So he was in trouble regardless.
No, I remember we had like our 10-cent sip sack. Like there was these, I don't think it was a thing everywhere. I mean, it might have been a thing everywhere, but calling it a sip sack could have just been like a Montreal thing. Yeah. It was like this little bag of like Kool-Aid, basically, like a bag of sugar juice, and you just stab it with a straw.
It's like a Capri Sun.
I don't know what that is, but
yeah, you do. It's the same thing. It's like a little like metallic shiny juice bag that you stab.
But these weren't metallic.
Oh, okay.
These were just clear plastic.
Oh, there is a brand name of them that's still available called Capri Suns that I think we had in Canada as well. But
is that Sunny D? Is that what we call it here?
No, Sunny D is Sunny D is an orange flavored drink, and it is in like a plastic bottle jug thing.
Yeah, I don't. Anyways, but yeah, so we had those, and I remember like the baseball cards with the bubble gum, and we used to have like the 10-cent candy that then went up to 25-cent candy, which God, that was the worst.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Used to get like $5 to go and get Dad some cigarettes, and I could get some like candy with the change, but then the candy got too expensive. Also, then we weren't allowed to buy our parents cigarettes anymore, but that was,
yeah, no, definitely not.
The 80s. They made some rules in the 80s.
I
finally.
know. They really changed things up in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right, some behind the scenes facts and trivia for all of you. So Nat already shared
let's go.
our Stephen King's novella, The Body. It was from Different Seasons is the name of that book. Rob Reiner said that this was his most personal film, which I'm not even kind of surprised because you're working with kids. The story is super heavy. He was, doing a lot of different things. The filming location was actually mostly in Oregon. And that iconic train trestle scene was filmed on the McLeod River Railroad.
God, so stressful. They're running across this bridge. And of course, poor Jerry O'Connell is the one who's like holding up the line to get off the tracks. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to die. But he hustled. See, that's why he lost the weight.
See, exactly.
The fear of train track trauma.
Fear of train track. Hey, stop the presses. Val is here, so shout out to Val, who we adore, and she says that she has seen this one. So you were right.
I was right.
You win. You win.
I defended you, Val. I was like, she for sure saw this.
A potato for Val, a potato for Nat. Good job. I love it.
Yeah.
The cigarette props were actually cabbage leaves wrapped in paper, which I think is
amazing.
Weird.
I was like,
but
it's the
awesome.
80s. They might have just had the kids smoke.
Just had the kids smoke. I know. Those candy cigarettes. Yeah.
Oh, the Popeyes.
It absolutely amazing. We haven't really talked in detail about Lardass Hogan and the Barfarama scene. What were your thoughts of that story?
I thought it was super cute. It was so Gord is a writer, and his brother always encouraged him, and his dad always told him like, no, stop that and pick up a football. And when his brother passed, he kind of stopped writing. But then when he's out on this little adventure with his friends, he tells a story around the campfire. So you could see that it's going to come back. Like he's finding his way back to it again. And he tells this story about this kid who's picked on for being obese. And there was a pie eating contest, and this kid he had a plan. He chugged a bunch of castor oil, which don't do that.
Also, don't eat blueberry pie in a pie eating contest. That just seemed, the whole thing is grotesque to me. I'm like, no.
Well, I thought
I like blueberry pie, but the idea of like putting your whole face and eating that much of it, like it's going to make you ill. Like you are going to throw up.
Yeah, I mean, any amount of pie, any kind would make you sick.
But that like blue,
I thought the blue had a nice visual effect.
Nice visual effect, yeah. I don't know if nice.
Well, I thought it was better than it being real barf because they had. Okay, so the story goes. He drinks the castor oil, he eats some raw eggs, and then he goes out to do this pie eating contest, and he like hammers through the like more than 6 pies, and he wins. And then he starts to gurgle, and he erupts this like vomit everywhere. So this blueberry vomit over everybody, which triggers a chain reaction.
Yeah.
The whole audience, the mayor, the school principal, everybody vomits. But the thing is, they're all vomiting blue because as he's telling the story, we see the story.
Yeah.
And I mean, the people in the audience wouldn't have vomited blue. So it was kind of a way, I thought, to make it more palatable to see on the screen instead of actual vomit.
Yeah.
Because if it was actual vomit instead of this like blue juice like that they were all throwing up, it probably would have made me like heave.
Yeah. And it's meant, I think anyway, to be like, he's telling a story and we're seeing like the reenactment of it. So it's meant to be like a little bit comical, a little bit silly. I do love that like it's such a teenage boy like who are constantly talking about, farting and vomiting and whatever else. So it felt very appropriate for a teenage boy to be telling this story. And then I also thought
the punchline's vomit.
The punchline's vomit, yeah. And I did love that like he finishes the story and they're all like, totally engrossed and laughing and finding it like hilarious and awesome. And then they're like, that's it? That's the end?
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the end.
Like, what happens to him? He's like, nothing. But I liked that the story was juvenile in the fact that it was like the joke was the barf, but also it was a well thought out story, especially for a 12-year-old, about how to deal with bullying. And, the bully didn't, try to beat anybody up. He didn't try to rat them out because being a rat is not good either. And, you know, like it was a cute way that he was able to explore how to handle
Yeah, he's
a
processing.
complicated situation, you know, and it's interesting to see that at such a young age, he had such a clever way of exploring such a difficult topic like bullying. So it kind of gave you that sort of like, as a viewer, you're like, oh, he's going to be a really good writer. Like he'll end up being a famous writer because it's really clever for a kid, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit about cultural impact and overall legacy for this movie. I mean, I don't think we can answer the question that we normally do where it's like, does this movie, like, is it still watchable? Does it stand today? Because I think the movies that are intentionally time capsule-y and dated like this sort of exist in their own times. Like, as you said, like, there are words in this that I like, I don't want to re-say. I hear and kind of be like, ugh, I don't care for that. But also, like, they were set at the time, so it would have been unrealistic for them to edit that out. You have a lens.
As a viewer, you know, even today, that you are going into this with historical context.
Yeah.
They set it up, like the way they did this one and Now and Then, like how you have the adult open the movie.
Yep.
And then pull you back to when they were a kid. You automatically know this isn't something, like, this is showing us a piece of history. Even if some of it's difficult to watch.
Yeah.
You know, like and even still, it was pretty good. Like they didn't focus on any of like the more horrible aspects of Western civilization in the 50s.
Yeah, it kind of it almost like,
I mean, they kind of erased it from this, but
it's a time capsule, but it also because it's such a because the focus of this movie really is about like the friendship between these four characters and what it means, like what these kinds of friendships mean, and the idea of like growing up and coming of age and all of that. Like, it doesn't need to go beyond that. Now and Then does, like, it actually takes a little bit more of a look at that, and like there are a lot more. Now and Then has a lot more kind of extra characters around the main like girl group, whereas this one doesn't really, other than like the cobras that are kind of, you know, the like, bullies and the bad guys in this
I mean, it does for the 50s in North America to have a small town being that white,
that's not surprising,
is realistic. There was still segregation so at the time, so it was, and it would be a totally different story if there were a more obvious representation of North America, you know.
It's not, I mean, it's not really,
but for the time period it would have been a different story. I don't know, because we don't have the best history on it, you know, like we have oral history basically even from this time period.
I don't think it, and I'm interested to hear what people say if you're hanging out with us here in the live studio audience, but I don't think it does an injustice to anyone by excluding any of those conversations, because again, the focus of this movie really is on kind of dealing with concepts of growing up, of grief, of like of friendship, of like, so it's dealing with kind of these larger concepts. I mean, like, one could argue certainly that it would be like a better represented movie if there were, you know, more than just white people in this movie. But also, I don't necessarily know if in the context of this movie, if it's really doing a large disservice to it. But
also
like,
the reality of that in the 50s, that these white kids would have even known other like kids of color would, I don't know how realistic that would be for small town.
Yeah, that's very true. It does. I mean, I will say it touches lightly on class and socioeconomic backgrounds. I mean, it has certainly undertones of that, where, as you were saying earlier, like Chris's character is very aware of the fact that, and of course he ends up defying that, but he's very aware of the fact that he's not going to be able to make it to university. Like he's on a different track than Gordie, and he's accepted that.
Yeah. That whole story where he steals the
The
school's milk money.
Yeah, that's so heartbreaking. He's got the most heartbreaking stories.
Oh my God.
I mean, Gordie is hard.
And
is
then
harsh as
he
well,
goes to give it back.
yeah, he goes to do the right thing. Yeah,
And then the teacher
steals it. Oh,
steals it and blames him.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's like, okay, so he did steal it, but then he realized it was wrong and he went and gave it back. And then the teacher, and when he says, I never thought a teacher, like,
Yeah.
it's not that he didn't expect it from grown-ups, but from a teacher. And that betrayal.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, and like it.
God, that was a good moment.
Like, yeah,
It
'cause
was,
it's so,
it was really shocking for this poor kid to be like,
Well, and it's
yeah,
also
you
like
felt that shock.
Yeah, it's that realization that like life isn't at all fair, and he is not playing the same game as even his own friends.
Ugh.
Like and the
for a
realization of that is
12-year-old.
brutal. Yeah, for a 12-year-old, like
God.
absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
This movie, by the way, just in case those of you who are watching or listening later, in case you don't realize, like this movie has a very, very long legacy. So it's about to celebrate its 40th anniversary next year. I thought it was this year, and it's next year, 86 to 2026. But I mean, many, many, many different shows and movies, including, as we were saying Now and Then is obviously inspired by it. Stranger Things has certainly deep roots and inspiration in this movie. Yeah. Like, again, it was written by Stephen King, who is like a prolific, I mean, really probably one of the most famous authors that we have kind of in our generation, certainly. So it definitely, I think, stands the quote unquote test of time in just that I think like a coming of age story and a story about childhood friendship, if done well, like is going to stand the test of time. Like
it's always going to be relevant because everybody's
yeah.
going to experience it.
Yeah. It's always going to be relevant. This is a great question. So huge thank you to Chance is saying that we're both really analytical. We are. we accept that compliment. I love it. And then Chance is asking if we watch the movie together, which we actually used to do, which was kind of the foundation. We should get back to doing that. We haven't lately because of scheduling nightmares, but we watch it independently almost immediately before we come on, and we do chat back and we text back and forth about it, but we're not watching the movie at the same time. But we should.
Yeah, no, but we do discuss while we're watching.
Yeah. If anyone is smarter than I am, I've like talked to a few of my friends and have not yet. Everyone thinks that they can help me with this, but I have yet to solve this. I would love to set up I don't even care where it is, whether it's like a Zoom room, a Discord space, wherever, to be able to all get to watch movies together. And I know that I'm struggling with getting around copyright violations because it's not something I want to, like, we wouldn't live stream or record any of that, but it would be fun to get to watch them all together.
Episode.
We did, and they figured out how to do it. So I should figure, and what they
not
do
without
is
bumps.
They
the road.
They create an environment where we can all watch it and then sort of talk, like a reaction video, basically like a 2-hour plus reaction video. But what they do for the actual episode is they remove the audio and and so the episode is just reactions. And so people can time it up and watch it with everyone. So they do some extra work, which we could try that as well. But if anyone realizes a fun way to do that, it'd be awesome to do like a clubhouse meeting where we all get hang out and watch some
like a slumber party, guys.
A slumber party. I know, yeah, exactly. A watch party. Kathy's in for it. All right, so that's everyone's homework assignment. Somewhere in and around episode 100. Figure out how to have a watch party. So when I try to do it in Zoom, which is how we are connecting with each other, we're using a tool called Ecamm, and then I'm bringing in Nat through Zoom as a connection point. Yeah. When we start playing the movie in Zoom legally, like it's a movie I own or one that we're allowed to watch publicly, it blacks out the screen, even if we're not recording, like even if we're just connecting. So it is kind of wild. Zoom seems to have some restrictions around it, so it's not as easy as a backstage party, but exactly, like StreamYard backstage. Yeah, exactly. All of these tools seem to know that for some reason and turn it off. So yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Okay, wait, I want to make sure I covered all the facts. Anything else that you wanted to mention, Nat?
Great soundtrack.
Amazing. So Stand By Me is one of my favorite songs. And like hearing
Great
it,
song.
even just sort of like subtly playing in the background of this movie is phenomenal. I am with you.
Even
It's-
Lollipop. I
Lolli-
forgot
oh, so
like
good.
what a hit that was.
Yeah.
Even
Even the
before
kids
my
singing,
time, but
even the kids
yeah.
singing the
And
like
the little,
TV
like,
theme songs
pop
is
in their
fantastic.
mouth. I
Yeah.
remember my dad teaching me that. That was fun.
Yeah,
It's cute. I just can't
absolutely
do it.
incredible soundtrack. We might need to get this one on vinyl. Might need to get my soundtrack.
Yeah, probably. I might have it on vinyl.
Yeah. Casting was different. I mean, not that that's like all that unusual for these movies, but there were a ton of different actors that were up for these movies. Corey Feldman and River Phoenix both initially auditioned for the role of Gordie. And Reiner thought that they were perfect for Teddy and Chris instead. So that
I
ended up that
love.
way. Jerry
Corey
had
Feldman
never
was
acted
so good in
before.
this.
And so this was his first acting role. Yeah. I mean, literally every single person that is in this movie is a phenomenal actor, like from start to finish. But these
I
four
saw a
kids
clip.
are just
I
amazing.
saw a clip of Jerry O'Connell recently saying he's a failed actor. Like he's like a talk show host or something now. He's like, yeah, I'm a failed actor, blah, blah, blah. And everybody was like, what?
I mean,
he's
if
like,
that's how he
it's
wants to
true.
define
He's like, I'm not
himself.
acting anymore.
Inaccurate.
He's
but
like,
if that's
I
what he
can't
wants
get
to
a
call
job. Like, he was like, I can't get a job. He's like, I'm a failed actor. He's like, I can't get work anymore. I was like, somebody hired that poor man.
Absolutely.
I loved him as a kid.
crazy.
Also, my crush on Will Wheaton still stands.
Yeah. Yeah, Will Wheaton forever. I adore him. And he's
Which
really
I
fun to follow
know
these days too. So definitely
Trekkies, I know Trekkies don't like
I-
him in Next Gen
I-
unless you were a little kid watching
I was
it.
gonna say
then
I
you loved
like him in Next Gen, and I still have a running joke rewatching Next Gen with Dane like a couple of years ago. I was like, I just want to find and buy every single one of his incredible sweaters so that I can make Dane wear
Yes.
them for like holidays or around the house.
You should get you should get your mom to do one every Christmas.
Exactly. I could brush up on my crochet skills and see if I can pull off ridiculous sweaters. Yeah, Will Wheaton sweaters. I hope that he still owns them because they are fantastic.
Oh my god.
This is so there's a couple of sad facts related to cast that I just want to like cover and then we can wrap because I know we could probably talk about this movie forever. But so Kiefer Sutherland, who again we adore, and the second I saw him, I was like, why have we not done Lost Boys? Which Chance pointed out. We need to, Nat, what the hell?
I don't know. I've seen that movie way too many times.
Yeah, it needs to happen. So
I've even seen the sequels.
Yeah.
And there's even like the last one I think has like baby Sutherland in it. Like his real life, like younger brother is in one of the remakes.
Yeah.
I have them all. Like I've seen it too many times.
So that one's on the list. But he apparently stayed in character throughout this movie. And so like he was just terrifying to these poor kids, which is like admirable and be horrible. Like it's just horrible.
I've heard many a time though that he was just actually like he's actually just not nice.
Maybe he's just mean, which is fine. I will separate those two things out. But it makes me sad.
I enjoy his acting. I am sorry for everybody that had to work with him if he's not nice.
Yeah, I know. Especially kids. I feel bad for that. And then again, like
mind you, he was part of the whole Brat Pack at this time too. So he's out running around with the Brat Pack doing all sorts of stuff that you did in the 80s. And then he's coming to work with a bunch of little kids. You know, like it's pretty intense. I mean, it's intense to switch. And he was still young. He was in his early 20s, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but I don't.
I'm not defending bad behavior. I'm just trying to separate the human from the art.
Yeah, it's so bad. So supposedly, and someone correct me if this fact is wrong, but in the scene where Gordie pulls the gun, so a couple of facts here. The first is it's actually in the story it's written that Chris pulls the gun, but Stephen King actually was like, well done. It makes way more sense for Gordie to pull the gun. So Gordie pulls the gun at the end. And I guess like Will Wheaton didn't know that Rob Reiner had told Kiefer Sutherland to just lunge at him. And so he's like legitimately terrified in that scene. Like that's not even acting. That's just like they scared the shit out of that kid, which is so horrible. So just
that used to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like speaking of Stephen King, poor Shelley Duvall was terrorized by the director. Because, you know, her fear and shaking was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be a thing where they used to do that. Mind you, also, I heard on the set of It, the most recent iterations with the kids, not the sequel.
Mhm.
What's his name? The Skarsgård was walking around in costume the whole time, and the kids were like, it's terrifying, but he's being so nice, but he looks like this.
I have
So
a couple of friends who would absolutely do that in front of their children, but hey, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and keep in mind too that like again, it wasn't overly common for kids to play kids. Like even in throughout the 90s and early 2000s, like it was like
Even
20
now.
somethings or 30 somethings that played kids. So like this was kind of a bit of an exception that we had like actual like 11 to 15-year-olds playing these kids.
Yeah.
And then I do want to say just like again, every time that I see a movie with River Phoenix, it's just like so, and this one in particular, it's so heartbreaking, like his short life and what ended up happening to him. But also like most of the scenes that we've talked about that were so impactful for us, and I'm sure millions of other people, he like ad-libbed a lot of that. Like he was pulling from his own pain. He was that broken that young, and that's just hard to see in this movie. Like,
Also, all the roles he got cast in, there was no fluffy Disney kid movies.
Yep.
Like off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Running on Empty, which is really dark.
Yeah, no, he's in a lot of
really, really dark.
He's in with Ethan Hawke, who apparently was up for one of these roles, but River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke are in
Was that Explorer?
Explorer. Yeah, Explorers.
Yeah.
Explorer, something like that.
can't
Yeah,
remember.
I was going to say Flight of the Navigator, but that's a different one.
I have the VHS box
I have the
set
box,
picture in my mind. The movie poster.
All right. Well, before it gets to be midnight, we will, if you're hanging out with us live, drop in bodies. You can write in bodies. You can write potatoes.
Trains.
You can write blueberries,
Katie.
pies, trains. You could write in all kinds of different things. There's a bajillion different little boy emojis. You can rate in all that. Let us know what you thought of this one. And if you haven't seen this one yet or all the way through, let us know if we've convinced you. That's always our fun-filled game. But it sounds like most people other than Josh have seen this all the way through. And while people are dropping that in, I did just want to say, because like, again, like everyone involved in this movie is like, it is and was famous. I mean, Rob Reiner did Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally. Like icon. Like
this was his heyday. He's like, I will pause all of that and do a kids movie.
Yeah.
But it was Stephen King, so yeah.
Absolutely. And
Stephen King was super famous already at this time too, so
yeah.
it's not like, oh yes, I love that one. Isn't that based on Shakespeare?
It is based on Shakespeare.
It is.
That's a phenomenal one.
That's why it wrecked
for the
you,
list,
Kathy.
And Kathy is saying my own private Idaho if you're listening. All right. Paul has got, I'm trying to look closely.
Tents?
They're trains. I think they're train tracks.
Ooh, train tracks. Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 train tracks. Sorry, Paul. It's late. It's not even all that late, but it's later for us than it is for you, Paul. So, so yeah, 5. I didn't even tell Nat, but I went with.
It's 5.
5. The answer is 5. The answer is 5 Christian taters. For this one, the answer is just 5. You were wrong. If the answer is not 5, you are wrong. Sorry to all of you. You can still hang out in the club, but you're not correct.
Yeah. No, we loved it. The soundtrack, the adventure of youth, the changing of time,
so many good ones,
and making it palatable to deal with grief for both adults and children. It was really special in how it all came together and how people can feel seen in these, even some of the smallest scenes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was very special. It was very well done.
All right, I'm acknowledging these last few comments from our incredible Tater Tots. Kathy is saying we're in the upside down. Val has seen it and Josh is not. We are absolutely in the upside down. I love the Stranger Things reference.
Save Barb.
Save Barb.
Save Barb final season. Bring her back.
Yeah. I'm acknowledging that Chance disagrees with us and is giving it 3 out of 4, but we do rate out of 5. So I'm going to assume you mean 4 out of 5, but that's okay. And Sean is giving it 4. 4. Oh no, Chance is not a fan of The Princess Bride, which is coming up in our review. So maybe piece that one out, Chance, because we're gonna go deep on that one. That one's definitely in my. That one's definitely in my.
Chance, you will find us obnoxious on that episode.
Yeah, you will. Don't sit that one out. Sit that one out. We want you to stay friends with us, so sit that one out. So a good time to remind everyone here at the end of this episode that this is 98 for us. So huge thank you to so many of you for being here with us from like almost the beginning or before the beginning. Like I just am blown away. And so next week is Amadeus, which is a phenomenal movie, but many of you may not have seen it. So come with us on the Amadeus journey. It's so good.
I think it won an Oscar in 81.
Yeah, so maybe I'm
Best
totally wrong
movie?
and everyone actually has seen it, but it's so good.
Great soundtrack.
Teaser. It's so
about
good.
Mozart.
Yeah, it's about Mozart. And then episode 100 is E.T. So it's going to be, we're going big. We're going big. We are not going home. We're going to do a giveaway for anyone who hangs out with us live. So definitely keep tuning in. Keep us in mind for episode 100. Not next week, but the week after. And Amadeus, if you want to hang out in between, because why not, right? So we're on a ride, but thank you to all of you, us, for hanging out with us. And we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Kidnapped, walking the scene.